Hey guys, Jonathan here at Marshall Custom Models. I just wanted to give you a look at the Voyager, give you an on-hands visual review of what I'm doing to it so far. The past 2 weeks I've been working on all the modification on the ship itself, which has been a bear, because as you can see on the side of the hull right here, all these individual windows, since it was it's a Revell kit, it's a monogram kit, none of these windows were factory cut out. I had to go through and drill and cut out each window in here. And then the windows up along the top of the bridge, there was a photo etch template that came from Paragraphics that helped cut those out to make it more screen accurate. So that, on top of modifying it so it can be on a rod, and then also modifying it so it can stand on its feet, and then modifying it for a battery. You know, it's taken a great deal of time, but I've finally got all the modification finished. I need to do the light blocking now, but I can't because it's raining here, and I can't get to my paint booth. So I decided to go ahead and make a video. Alright, well, give me 1 second, I'll reposition the camera and I'll show you a little more. Okay guys, here's a back view of it. I don't have the door for the shuttle bay yet, but I cut out the bottom plate on this on the landing bay floor. I cut the bottom plate out to extend it in. It is not going to be screen accurate, but I have a lot of shuttles I want to fit in there, so I made it a little bit bigger. And I'll zoom in. As you can see up top right there, my camera will focus. Okay, it's a little hard to see, but on the back right here we have the photo etch observation windows, and they'll just be a light inside there to light it up just like the windows. I'm going to move the camera now to show you closer up. So some of the stuff I added, there's a little door or a hatch that's on the bridge, and actually the science behind it is this bridge section all along right here, in times of emergency, would actually be able to detach. That's one reason for the docking port on the back. This whole bridge was able to detach and actually had thrusters on it to where it could maneuver in times of emergency. Now, what I had to do, so I needed to install a battery Now the problem I had is I needed to install a battery into this unit. My client wanted the ability to have it on its feet while at the same time having it on a stand, which is why I've modified, as you can see on the bottom, right there, a position for a stand. The normal hull was right here. That's for where the stand for that came with the kit went. I cut out, so this hatch right here was actually a part of the warp core system ejection hatch, and I cut that out, and that's where I put my mount. And then I'm going to have a magnetic strip that's the same design as the hatch go back on there, so once it's on you won't even tell. You can also see right here, this is one of the 4 mounts for the feet, and I'll show you that in a minute. Right here I have the whole segment cut out for the arrow. That took the greatest deal of time because I needed it very, very precise. So we'll take the arrow and it will fit right up inside there, just like that. And as you can see, I have it hollowed out because it will house a battery and lights. And the whole point of that is when you can remove the arrow, and when you remove it, the magnetic switch will close and the shuttle will come on. And then when you put it back up into the hole, the magnetic switch will open and the shuttle will go off. So that's going to be pretty sweet once I get it done. As you can see, I have the deflector dish housing cut out. Well, not cut out. I just don't have it installed yet. You can see on the inside that I have some white styrene, and I've epoxied it on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the blue LED strip in there, and that's what's going to power the front deflector dish. Okay, I'm gonna bring you up to the top. So as I said, I needed it to mount a battery. Here's my battery. It's a pretty big size, as you can see. And well, I meant to surprise, but there it is. So I decided to cut out one of the rear sensor arrays, right here, rear sensor array, plus one of the rear hatches. I cut this piece out, and there will be 4 magnets mounted on either side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will sit in place. And let me get some light in here. Alright, and so that's what I've been working on the past several days. Getting this housing fixed. And since I don't have a CAD program, I'm doing all this by hand. It looks a little sloppy, but once I get the coating in there, you're never going to tell. And so it fits in perfectly. What you're going to do, take the battery, set it down inside, finagle it just a little bit, and then it all plops down. It's easier to do it with 2 hands. There we go. Plops down. The wire will be stuffed inside. There will be a connector in there. And then you take the housing, and when there are magnets, it will attach right on. And you won't even know. So that's how, and then to get the battery out, just gonna pull all the wiring out, lift up the side with the wires on, and just do a little bit of twisting, and it plumps right out. It is a very, very tight fit because I had very little room inside. Alright, give me 1 second, I'll break the ship apart and show you what the inside looks like. Okay guys, here's the inside of the secondary hull and the primary hull. This is what the battery housing looks like. See, it's a very funky design. I had to do it that way for twisting the battery. I had to get it all fit in there. As you can see, I've epoxied all on the inside here. I cyanoed it together. The cyano is more of a tack, and then the epoxy is what will actually hold it, and it fills in the gaps, so when I light block it, it's going to keep the light out. So, and it fits perfectly inside the secondary hull, because this is the mounting rod support, and all of this is JB Weld. I've gotten to the point now where I use cyano to tack my pieces in place, and then I JB weld it together. It takes a long time. It takes about 12 to 13 hours to cure, but once it's cured, it's never going to come apart, and that's why I use it. And all 4 of these are the landing gear housings, and I've completely coated them in epoxy, in JB Weld, because there's going to be a lot of weight that they're going to have to support. Here's the back of the deflector dish housing. I put these 2 supports just because I could. They didn't need it at all because it's not a structural support. They're just going to be LEDs in there, but I figured, what the heck, I'll do it. Alright, so that's what the inside of the primary and secondary hull look like. Give me 1 second, I'll put the feet on, and that'll be it. Be right back. Okay guys, here's the bottom of the secondary hull. I got the 4 landing gear housing and then the landing gear. So what I did is I drilled holes through the unit, and then I put 1mm steel rod through it, and I tacked it in place. This will make sure that it never bends on me or breaks. So bear with me a second, it's a little difficult one-handed, but what you're going to do is you're going to take these and you're going to stick them inside the housing. They're a custom fit, so they're only going to go in the one that they're meant to go into. Just like that. So they're in place. There she sits. That took several hours to make sure to get them all flush, level, so when they're affixed in there correctly, you can tap on all the corners and it doesn't go anywhere. They're all completely flat and level. Now, what I'm going to be doing with this is this will be affixed to a stand. It'll be able to be removable to a stand, but I have to have the power running from the stand to power the ship off wall power when I'm not running it off of a battery. So to do that, I have some copper tape, and I'll be putting the tape along the top of these mounts and on the bottom. And then I'll have one wire coming through, do this. So I'll have copper wire right here and copper wire tape on the top, and there'll be a wire that comes right down the center and is soldered to the bottom of each of those pieces. When you put it inside the housing, it's going to connect to another copper piece, which I'll have inside, and then when you put it onto the stand, it'll connect to another copper piece that's the same size as the feet. I've already run some tests. It's going to work great. That way it can run off wall power, and all you have to do is set it on the platform. There's no fixing, there's no making it permanent. That way it can go from a landed mode to a flight mode on 2 different power sources, and you're not always constantly running your battery pack. So it's going to be an electronic achievement, but it's going to look really cool when I get it done. Alright guys, well that's all I have so far. Just wanted to show you what it looked like before I did the light blocking. I'll get all the electronics, I'll start doing all those probably on Friday, because light blocking will take all day tomorrow. Just takes a while for that paint to cure. But she's moving along really well, and really excited how she's going to look. Alright guys, hope you're enjoying the build, and I'll talk to you later.